Chapter 112. Sounds familiar. Dr. Gao seemed to have his own reservations. I'm afraid Men Nan might not be able to survive until tonight. His condition is getting worse. With his head lowered, Men Nan maintained his weird posture, his pupils darting about but completely silent. But there's no better option. Chen Ge knew what Dr. Gao wanted to say. His condition is completely different from Wang Xin's, so I'm helpless as well. But if you trust me, let me go to his apartment to take a look tonight, and perhaps I will find something. Other than that, I have another question to ask him. Chen Ge walked to Men Nan's side and slowly used his hand to swipe above the young man's head and spine. What are you doing? Dr. Gao was confounded. Dr. Gao, have you noticed that regardless of whether he was talking or walking, he kept his head lowered? It felt like there was something pressing on him on his skull. Chen Ge had noticed this a long time ago, but he did not have the chance to inquire about it. Men Nan, don't you think it's difficult to maintain a posture like that? Reminded by Chen Ge, Dr. Gao patted Men Nan on his back. Are you still feeling uncomfortable? Men Nan waved his hands, but he kept his head lowered. Standing for quite some time in the crowd seemed to have taken a toll on him. He looked like he could lose control at any moment. Noticing this, Dr. Gao quickly led Men Nan to a darker location for him to rest. The frequency at which Men Nan's pupils move about is not normal. He kept looking around him, and he has a habit of rolling his pupils upwards like he is trying to see above his head. Chen Ge looked at Men Nan's shadow, and the more he looked at the young man, the more confused he felt. If one was naturally a little bit hunchback, one's spine would be arched, but Men Nan's back was straight, and only his head fell downwards. It gave the impression that there was something heavy sitting on his head. Washing his head, why would he experience dream like that? There was still no reaction from the black phone. Chen Ge ignored it. A special visitor was an additional bonus. It was good if he could get it, but he would not feel bad if he did not either. After sending away 2 batches of visitors, Men Nan's situation improved. Dr. Gao was indeed an expert at counseling. Men Nan, who appeared like he was going to lose his mind, became sedated and calm around Dr. Gao. He led Men Nan to see Chen Ge again. They seemed to have come to a decision. 8 p.m. tonight. We will see you at Ha Ming Apartments. Okay, Chen Ge promised, and the black phone vibrated. Let him fall asleep normally tonight, and I will keep a vigil over him. I'll accompany you. Dr. Gao thanked Chen Ge before leaving with Men Nan. Yet another weird case. Chen Ge roughly grasped the meaning of special visitor. They weren't ghosts per se, but people trapped in the line between the 2 worlds. As soon as they left, he checked the black phone. The second special visitor has left. Through your effort, you have unlocked the mission information. Unlocked, hidden trial mission, a room of 3. A room of 3, 1-star scream factor. Arrive at Ha Ming apartment before midnight and find out the reason behind the special visitor's illness. Mission venue, Ha Ming apartment room 303. Mission hint, he came from the 3rd sick hall. Do you want to accept the mission? Warning, the trial. Mission is only active for 24 hours. If you do not accept it within this time limit, it'll be taken as forfeit, and this scenario will stay locked forever. Chen Ge did not pay much attention to this hidden mission, at least not until he saw the mission hint. It's related to the 3rd sick hall? He came from the 3rd sick hall? Men Nan has been treated inside the 3rd sick hall? Reading the mission details again, Chen Ge found a more curious coincidence. The number 3 was repeated many times. Could this be a coincidence? But what is the meaning of this room of 3? Either 2 ghosts were living in Men Nan, or Chen Ge, Dr. Gao, and Men Nan would make up the 3 in the room. In any case, since it was related to a 3-star scenario, Chen Ge did not dare to be too careless. He memorized the mission details and made sure he did not miss anything before putting away the black phone. He contacted Xu Wan to have her sell tickets, while Chen Ge entered the murder by midnight scenario to act as the ghost. There was no accident. During lunch break, Chen Ge did not join Xu Wan at the canteen, but he moved alone to the park office. After discovering the presence of Director Luo's daughter, Chen Ge had a few questions for Director Luo. He took the elevator to the top floor. The door to Director Luo's office was open. The man did not seem to like the idea of trapping himself in an enclosed room. Chen Ge knocked on the door lightly, and Director Luo soon came out to greet him, carrying several reports in his hands. "Director Luo, I have a few questions for you. Do you have some time?" Director Luo put the reports down. "Problems with the underground parking lot?" "No, it's not that, but something else." Chen Ge placed Luo Ruoyu's bracelet and the paper left behind by his parents on Director Luo's desk. "These are the things I found in the underground parking lot beside a support beam." "What is it that you wish to know?" Director Luo recognized the bracelet. "There are plenty of toys left in unnoticeable corners around the park. I left them there personally." "Why would you do that?" "All the toys are my daughter's favorites. I placed them around the park so that when she returned, she would not feel so lonely." "Then did you place other things alongside the toys, like this?" Chen Ge pushed the bloodied note to Director Luo. Director Luo shook his head after looking at it twice. "I have no recollection of this. It wasn't me." After getting the answer from Director Luo, Chen Ge was slightly disappointed. He had assumed that, as the director of New Century Park, Director Luo would know a thing or two about his parents' disappearance. But he was wrong. Director Luo did not even know about his own daughter's return to the park. His parents seemed to have hidden a lot of secrets. "Then I'm sorry for disturbing you." Chen Ge picked up the note and prepared to leave. "Wait a minute." Director Luo stood up slowly and signaled for Chen Ge to show him the note. "This is your father's handwriting, isn't it?" "Yes." "You can recognize it?" Chen Ge was surprised. Not everyone would pay attention to people's handwriting. "The third sick hall?" Director Luo read the words on the paper before confirming. "Right before your parents disappeared, I heard them mention this place." Chapter 113. A Brave Idea. "You heard them mention that?" Chen Ge's interest was piqued. "Yes, the day before your parents' disappearance. They came to me, saying someone wanted to give me a present. However, due to various complications, said person could not be there, and thus entrusted the task to them." Director Luo took a wooden box from the nearby bookshelf. After opening the box, it revealed a roughly hewn roly-poly toy. He held the toy in his palm. "Even though the making is rough, I appreciate the meaning. No matter the difficulty, it will stand up again." Chen Ge was anxious, and he urged, "What did my parents say after that? Where did you hear those few words?" "Your parents left after they gave me the gift. Since I have a habit of not closing my office door, I accidentally overheard their conversation in the corridor." Director Luo thought to himself before continuing. "At the time, they had not wandered far from the door. Your father said something like, 'The door to the third sick hall has been opened again,' and your mother replied, 'The door wasn't closed in the first place.' That's it. That's all I could hear. They did continue the conversation, but I could not hear them clearly." After chatting for a few more minutes and confirming that there was nothing more Director Luo could give him, Chen Ge exited his office. The door to the third sick hall has to be something more than a literal door. Could it be similar to the door in the haunted house's mirror? Could there be another world behind the door? He could not understand why his parents would say something like that. He pulled out the black phone to read the mission hint again. It said, "He came from the third sick hall." Does it mean that he came from the bloody world, similar to the mirror monster? The day before their disappearance, Chen Ge's parents had been discussing the third sick hall. Did this mean that their disappearance was related to it? He knew that his parents had disappeared around an abandoned hospital. The police had searched all the nearby buildings but found nothing. Now Chen Ge suspected that his parents had entered the door and traveled to the other world. "It's still too soon to confirm the mission venue for the third sick hall is the hospital that my parents disappeared in." Chen Ge patted his face lightly to force himself to calm down. Since it was related to his parents, his emotions were unsettled. "The mission has 3 stars, so it must be dangerous. Even if I accept it now, I might not be able to complete it. I'd better focus on the immediate mission for now." The trial mission at Ha Ming Apartments was related to the third sick hall. Completing this mission would provide more understanding of the third sick hall, so it was not a bad place to start. At 4 p.m., the number of visitors slowed. Chen Ge handed the key to the haunted house to Shu Wan. and he crawled into the props room to prepare for the trial mission that night. The doll left behind by his parents was the park's guardian spirit, so it was only useful inside the park. Therefore, Chen Ge did not bring it along with him this time. Looking at his choices, Chen Ge eventually settled on the phone charger, lighter, safety rope, and the incredibly handy multi-purpose mallet. That should be enough. He thought about it before shoving the reward money that he had left from the Ping An apartment case into his backpack. It's early. Perhaps I should go to the mannequin shop first. If the price is right, I can directly give the down payment. The quicker he finished Muyang High School's hidden mission, the earlier he would reap the reward. After some cleaning up, when Chen Ge passed the dressing room, he accidentally saw Xiao, who was hiding behind the door. The fake blood was splattered all over the floor, and there was some on Xiao as well. "What are you doing?" Chen Ge picked up Xiao and asked Shuan to help clean the place before returning to the staff break room. A room full of fake blood. Shuan must have thought it was my handiwork. Will she think her boss has lost his mind? Chen Ge used a towel to wipe the fake blood off Xiao's body. He pinched her face, threatening, "If you continue to be naughty, I'll—" He was stuck because he could not figure out what Xiao was afraid of. Eventually, he huffed and shoved Xiao into his backpack as well. After everything was ready, Chen Ge exited the haunted house and the park. The park visitor number was dwindling, and the open-air car park was empty. There was not even a line at the bus stop. Maintaining the park requires plenty of money. With so few visitors, it mustn't be easy for Director Luo. After crossing the road, Chen Ge looked for the Mannequin Workshop using the information on the internet. He saw the sign hanging above a door that led underground. When he asked the hawker on the street, Chen Ge was told that the workshop was underground. Walking down the steps, the walls on both sides were covered in scrawling that he could not appreciate, and at the end of the step was a glass door with the sign, "For Rent, Sale." "Is anyone in?" Chen Ge looked through the glass room. The interior looked like an underground storeroom. The place was huge but empty. After waiting for some time, a slightly overweight man answered the door in his slippers. He looked roughly the same age as Chen Ge. He was in very casual attire and had some baby fat on his face. The glass door opened and Chen Ge was blasted in the face by the air conditioning. "You are the boss? I wish to order a set of custom-made mannequins," Chen Ge explained. "Okay, come in." The man invited Chen Ge into the shop. "How big do you want it? If it's under 30 centimeters, you can get it under 3 days." "That's too small. I want something the size of a real person, and the joints all need to be movable. Can you do something like that?" Chen Ge looked at the equipment inside the workshop. The place was more professional than it appeared on the outside. "Similar size to a real person? With movable parts?" Comprehension dawned for the man. With an understanding look, he asked, "How many do you want?" 24, when you can finish the order," Chen Ge answered. 24? The man asked in a raised pitch. The shout scared Chen Ge. "Why are you screaming so suddenly? Is 24 too many for the workshop to produce? All for your personal use? What use would I have for the mannequins?" Chen Ge realized the man had misunderstood him, so he explained, "I own a haunted house. The mannequins are part of the set design." "Okay." The man sighed in relief. "If it's for a haunted house, I don't suggest using too expensive filler. After all, the exhaustion rate is too high. We can make 2 types here, solid base and half-solid base. The most expensive 12,000, cheapest 3,000. Also, I have to remind you, all the workers have left, and I've been left alone to look after the place. So, 24 custom-made mannequins will probably take a month to be completed."